Hi guys, my name is Noni Matikela. Welcome to the Noni M podcast. Today I want us to talk about the SA harassment and wow. Let's talk about the sexual harassment and the courts, the Judicial Conduct Tribunal for Judge President Benenge. He's from the Eastern Cape. Guys, we were watching this from January, I think January, February, March. I'm not sure when, but we were for how long, but we've watched that case. That tribunal, it was taking place. I'm not sure whether in Eastern Cape or in Gauteng, but we were dealing with that. So I have this that I come across with where there's a reading that is very interesting that I think guys will be interested in from the Judges Matter. .co.za. Let's read this important read, okay? Sexual harassment and the courts, the Judicial Conduct Tribunal for Judge President Benenge. Sexual harassment and the courts, okay. It is only just over a week before the Judicial Conduct Tribunal hearing for Eastern Cape Judge President Benenge is set to resume. In January 2025, the tribunal, chaired by a retired judge, Wope, heard chilling evidence from the complainant, Ms. Mengo. The tribunal ended with the re-examination of Ms. Mengo by her representative. Considering that this is the first complaint of sexual harassment that the judiciary has had to deal with, excluding the magistrates, how this complaint is dealt with sets a precedent. The Code of Judicial Conduct under Article 5 requires that a judge must always, and not only in the discharge of official duties, act honorably and in a manner benefiting judicial office. The article further states that all activities of a judge must be compatible with the status of the judicial office. The integrity of the judiciary hangs in the balance because of the allegations of sexual harassment against the most senior judge in the Eastern Cape. Hence, the continuous monitoring of the proceedings is necessary. The power dynamics at play. The suggestion was put to you that the judge president has no power to affect your working conditions or your employment. Was that correct? This was the last line of questioning to Ms. Mengo on the 24th of January 2025. In response, she said no, probed further as to why she was saying no. Ms. Mengo responded that sithetha ngomntu one-powers zokwenza nantoni na, uyoyikisa emsebenzini, uyoyikeka, and wenza uba uzive or umve xa ekhoyo, wenza sure uba umve. Translation, we are talking about someone here who has powers, who can do anything at work. He is someone that one would be afraid of, and he would do it in such a way that he makes you feel it when he is present. This was the last testimony given by Ms. Mengo just before she was to confirm the time period when she handed her phone to the prosecution for purposes of preparations for the tribunal. More often than not, perpetrators of sexual harassment are persons in positions of power. The complaint against Judge President Benenge is a classic example of this fact. More often than not, okay, the testimony given by Mengo was to the effect that she feared that if she spoke out against JP Benenge, she would lose her job. The power imbalances present many difficulties for those faced with sexual harassment in the workplace. The second sitting of the Judicial Conduct Tribunal. The tribunal against Benenge will continue from 5th May 2025 until 16 May 2025, considering it was said just before the adjournment and postponement on the 24th of January 2025 that Mengo would be only witness for her case. The witnesses from Benenge's case should be taking the stand on 5th May 2025. It will be the first time in South Africa's history that not just a judge, but a judge president will give testimony in relation to allegations of sexual harassment made against him. It will be interesting to hear the judge president's version of events, considering the extensive detail Ms. Mengo testimony provided. What will be the outcome, or what might be the outcome? Although the tribunal might not be brought to finality on the 16th of May 2025, one can only wonder about the outcome. Benenge in 2016 found now Member of Parliament Glenis Breitenbach, MP, not guilty in misconduct against in misconduct allegations brought against her by the NPA relating to the Kumba/ICT matter. Benenge had been appointed to chair the disciplinary hearing against Breitenbach, who had been placed on suspension. Will the tribunal, chaired by Mope, find Benenge not guilty of the sexual harassment allegations leveled against him? It is curious to note that Benenge has sat in disciplinary hearings where the alleged perpetrator was placed on suspension. It is the norm that when an investigation of a serious nature is underway in the workplace, the alleged perpetrator is placed on precautionary suspension. This is done to preserve the integrity of the investigation and to protect the complainant from possible threats. In the judiciary, this has been the practice for all judges against whom a judicial conduct tribunal was to be convened. However, for the first time, this was not done in the complaint against Benenge. The reasoning has been that Benenge is already on special leave, which is not valid reason. One cannot help but still wonder why the special treatment when this matter is of such a sensitive nature. The lengthy delay in dealing with the complaint. The allegations of sexual harassment against Benenge surfaced in January 2023. It is now almost mid-2025 and the complaint brought by Mengo is yet to be finalized. It is taking the judiciary almost 3 years to deal with the sexual harassment complaint. The fact that it is the first time a judicial conduct tribunal is convened in relation to a sexual harassment complaint does not warrant such a lengthy delay in bringing the complaint to finality. It is notable that a complaint of this nature was brought against Benenge at a time when the judiciary did not have an anti-sexual harassment policy. However, as former Chief Justice Zondo left office on 30 August 2024, he signed into place an anti-sexual harassment policy for the South African judiciary. The signing of an anti-sexual harassment policy on the last day of office was nothing short of a surprise, even for judges and magistrates, as there had been no consultation. The anti-sexual harassment policy merely refers complaints of sexual harassment to the existing complaints structures. Section 7.2 of the policy reads, it is important, though, that victims of sexual harassment come forward and lodge complaints for the scourge of sexual harassment to be adequately addressed. In respect of complaints against judges, such complaints must be lodged with the Judicial Conduct Committee. In respect of magistrates, such complaints must be lodged with the Magistrate Commission. Needless to say, referring complaints of sexual harassment to the existing complaints structure will not adequately address the pervasive problem of sexual harassment in South African courts. Fortunately, one of Chief Justice Meyer's priorities has been to ensure that the South African judiciary has a comprehensive anti-sexual harassment policy with measures in place to ensure that the pervasive issue is uprooted within the South African courts. In conclusion, one can only hope that by the time an amended anti-sexual harassment policy for the South African judiciary is signed into effect, the Benenge Judicial Conduct Tribunal will be brought to finality. Sexual harassment by its nature is traumatizing and has negative effects on all individuals involved, in particular the victim. Gathering the strength to lodge a formal complaint, also the negative effects for the victim experiencing experiencing a protracted process in dealing with the complaint adds to the negative effects, not only for the victim, but for the alleged perpetrator as well. The Judicial Conduct Tribunal against Benenge should be brought to finality on 16 May 2025. Now, guys, that was a reading from the judge's letter. I'm so shocked. I didn't really follow the case to that level. I didn't know that this was brought to light January 2023. I was not aware of that. And that being said, Mugai is on special leave, not on suspension. Aibo, Juan, how so? Anyway, so they have stated whatever they needed to state it. So today is the 5th of May, 2025, and they came back. There was a witness who is a forensic expert when it comes to cell phone evidence. He was dealing with that. However, there was a pause to that evidence. I suppose they will come back tomorrow because it was not numbered accordingly. So the people were getting confused to where the witness was at in page numbers and stuff. They needed to fix that and then they will come back. So I suppose they took the entire day off to go and do the numbering properly and then come back tomorrow to continue with the case. Then we will take it from there. Yeah. Anyway, guys, let's talk in comment section. What are your thoughts when it comes to all of this? Because South Africa is a banana republic and a movie. What do you think is going to happen when it comes to this case? I want to hear your views. Bye-bye.